Hello Capricorn, and welcome back to the channel. I'm Jen with Bohemian Path Tarot, and it's time for June Tarotscopes. I've got a new deck this month. It is the Magical Hours Tarot, and it is gorgeous. So you'll see some of the images soon enough. But let me just remind you in the meantime that I do general readings for a general Capricorn audience. So that means it's not quite the same as a one-to-one reading. Please take what resonates just for you and leave the rest for another Capricorn. Some of this will resonate with you and some of it will just be for someone else. Right now, I do invite you to check out the videos for all three of your major astrological placements. So that's like your sun sign, your rising sign, and your moon sign. Now I'm going to go ahead and shuffle, but I do fast forward the video over the shuffling so we can get right into your reading. Okay, so hang with me. We will get right into your spread in just a second. I'll see you there. Okay, Capricorn, let's see what we've got. Oof. 10 of Swords. The Sun. The Hermit. The Six of Wands. That popped out while I was shuffling for you. The Three of Wands. Okay. And Strength. I've got to say, so even though we start here with the 10 of Swords, we've got such a beautiful reading afterwards. So the 10 of Swords, it doesn't look great, right? Let's see, get that in focus. Kind of sad. The 10 of Swords looks very painful, right? But it just means that something is over with. A painful chapter is done. Something that might have been not fun to go through, something challenging, is over with. Completely, a tough cycle is done. And something new is beginning. And something wonderful, something really bright and easy, an easier phase is starting. In traditional versions of the tarot, let's get that in focus. In traditional depictions of the tarot, the 10 of Swords is depicted with a sort of a sunrise in the background, as, you know, even though there's this kind of very clear sort of ending, there's a new beginning, right? And so we have the sunrise, and here you have that right here in the sun. And the Sun card is such an easy victory card. You know how in the summer when you were a kid, maybe it was just me, but for so many of us in the summer, summertime was a time of ease, you know, when school is out of session and you could just hang out and goof around and bum around your neighborhood, whether you lived no matter where you lived, you could just kind of hang out and explore your neighborhood and not worry about what time it was. There was no schedule. There was no time frame. You could just be and explore and make friends and maybe eat ice cream and maybe go to the lake or the pool, depending on your circumstances, whether you lived in the city or in the country or the suburbs, somewhere in between. And that's what the sun kind of represents, that time where you don't have a schedule, where you don't have to be anywhere, where you can just be. As a grown-up, the sun can represent a time when, maybe the boss is out of town and you don't have to worry as much about producing or, you know, being micromanaged. Or sometimes it's when you yourself can take a vacation, maybe even to a sunny location. Sometimes it literally means a victory, like maybe you get a better job, or maybe you get, and maybe you're in the spotlight in a way you want to be. The sun it can be a victory card in a number of different ways depending on your own circumstances. It can be really malleable that way. It's an easy victory, low key, no pressure. It's not forced or under pressure or something you have to chase. It's just kind of something that you find, something that evolves, something that becomes just apparent, something that you find. So I would say, especially for people who have put in a sort of effort to be in a spotlight, it would make sense because we also have the Six of Wands here, which supports being in a certain kind of spotlight. The Six of Wands is typically a card of recognition. And it's not as obvious in this card, but in other depictions of the Six of Wands, the central character is above or higher than some other folks who are looking up to them. There are often other figures in the Six of Wands that are looking up to them. The Six of Wands can indicate a time of recognition. So that connected to the sun, which can indicate being in a spotlight. These two cards together can indicate some kind of recognition. We also have the Three of Wands, which is also a plateau card, a card of reaching some sort of success. In the traditional depiction of the Three of Wands, which you may also be familiar with, this is typically a central figure on a hill looking down into a port, watching some ships come in to the harbor, which is supposed to symbolize news and products coming in to the central figure, sort of a boon time, or sort of the ships coming in for the central figure. So it's another symbol of success. So we see that following the end of this troubling cycle, in a time of ease, a time of recognition, a time of a sort of harvest or success, good news coming in. Now, in this final column here, we have the Hermit. That isn't about going off and being alone, actually. It's actually about taking the wisdom you have learned, both from sort of traditional types of wisdom and the wisdom of your own experience. There's the wisdom that we learn, or maybe a better term would be education. We can learn there's shared wisdom we have from scholars and from wise sages, if you will, things we can learn from books and other teachers. And then there's things that we can only know from our own direct experience, right? And we take both of these ways of learning and ways of knowing out into the world, and they become a part of our own wisdom. And so being the hermit means not being alone, but it means having earned wisdom from a way that no one else can fully appreciate. It's a wisdom that only you could ever have learned because it comes from your own direct experience. So when you have this body of wisdom from your own experience and from, you know, traditional education, you can take that out into the world and share it. This hermit is suggesting it's time for you to become more available. Isn't quite the right word, but maybe it's public, you know, whether sharing through social media or publishing through a book or teaching or just being more open with who you are in your one-to-one relationships. The hermit is suggesting sharing your wisdom, sharing yourself in a way that can be healing, not just for yourself, but you have wisdom to share. After having been through this really challenging chapter, maybe writing a novel or sharing through social media, teaching, there's a way to share your knowledge. It might be different for different Capricorns, but it's something to think about. Sharing your journey can be healing for you and for others. And finally, we have the Strength card here. Again, validating, you know, the inner fortitude to kind of get through this chapter, the worthiness to rise to these rise to the success of the recognition we're seeing here and here. There may also be a moment too where you'll have to face sort of grace under pressure, because there may be some public piece to this recognition. I just want to show you this because it's just the artwork on this is just so beautiful, right? Just finding the peace. The Strength card is kind of about that inner grace, right? Or that inner peace. No matter what's going on around you, having that confidence to face any situation with grace, right? So let's see, you have 3 major arcana in the Sun, the Hermit, and the Strength. You have 2 Wands cards. And then this kind of ending, new beginning card. It's really quite a powerful reading, I'll say, Capricorn. Yeah, it's very beautiful. I'm going to leave it there. It looks like June is going to be a very pivotal month. And I think you're ready for the change and the new beginning. And although the recognition might feel a bit surprising, maybe even, I think you're going to have the peace within, the strength within after all you've been through, to allow for the recognition and the success. So congratulations. Thank you so much for joining me, Capricorn. I hope this has been helpful. Please feel free to like or subscribe, leave a comment. In any case, take good care. Until next time, bye for now.